Hey, what is going on, guys? In today's video I'm going to show you how to build a at-home putting green. Now I'm not going to muck around and waste your time, I'm going to get straight into it. This is a previous putting green I've installed. It's been installed for about 4 or 5 months. It hasn't moved at all, so this is my credentials and I'm going to install another one and then show you how to do it. The one that I'm going to install is a little bit smaller than this one, but the same concepts apply. Anyway, let's get into it. So to start off the green build, we marked the area out with paint, and here I am coming over with the big bad bobcat. So I then dug out the area with the bobcat. I allowed for about 70 mil of base material. Here we are, just tipping out the crusher dust that I'm going to use for the base. Now some people use a more rocky road basey base and then a finer base on the top, but I've just used crusher dust on my previous one and it's worked out fine. Now I'm just compacting it with the bobcat. You can either use something heavy like a bobcat or, get a plate compactor and compact it down. I then raked it out and got it nice and smooth and compacted it down again. I've now got the leveling rake out and I'm smoothing out all the imprints from the bobcat. Now it's time to give it a water. So basically it's just going to be a lot of watering, compacting, smoothing and continuing until you're happy with the surface. You're going to want it really firm so it doesn't move underneath your putting green. I'm now raking out a little bit of excess crusher dust that I had so I can compact a second layer. So I'm going to have 2 layers of compacted material. Now this is what it's looking like. It's definitely starting to get really hard. Give it the old kick with the boot. That's always a good test. She's looking nice and solid. So now again I'm just going to use a leveling rake and rake out any of the imperfections. And there you go, it's looking really nice. And once again just doing some more compacting. That's really all the start of it is just compacting it down. Now giving it another final water before we finished up for the day and let it rest overnight. Now you can either use, cups that you buy offline, proper golf cups, or I'm just using a bit of 100ml PVC as I am a plumber, so I thought I may as well use it up. I did Google it and it is actually the correct size for anyone wondering. It ain't the prettiest, but it will work and it is what I used on my previous hole. And I just drilled some holes in the bottom of my cup for some drainage, which you'll see later. Now I just marked out the center for my cup and I am digging. As you can see, I had to hop on that bad boy because it is pretty solid, so we're looking good. Now I'm just pouring in some 7ml drainage ag. So this is what we're going to use for our drainage, so when any water gets in the cup, it's going to drain through the gravel. Now I'm just leveling up the cup and I'm pretty much just getting it the same level as the base. I'm now just putting some rapid set concrete around the cup and securing it in place. And of course we had to give it a quick test putt and see how she ran. We were happy. Now I just filled in around the hole, gave it another tamper, and we're going to give it another water, let it all firm up, and then we will lay the grass, which is the exciting point. It's looking good and we're happy. So this time I chose to use a bit of a cheaper grass because I am installing multiple of these around at my property as I'm building a 9-hole golf course at my home, so follow along for that as well. Now I'm just nailing in the ends of the putting green, and the reason I'm doing this is I now spread out the sand, and as I spread out the sand I'm sort of pushing out any of the wrinkles and stretching the putting green as well. So I'm raking in the sand, and depending on which type of grass you get, it will take a lot of sand. So be prepared to know that you're going to use a lot of sand. The sand helps weigh it down and also lets the ball roll better. So I'm just placing the pegs for the grass at about 30 centimeters or about a foot. Then just make sure that your grass is stretched out and flat and then nail it in. Now for the exciting part, find your hole and you cut an X pattern from the center out to the edge of the cup. And one tip, just make sure you've got a nice fresh blade on your knife because it's going to make it a lot easier and you're going to get a neater cut. And once you've cut out your X pattern in your hole, just trim the edges off and trim any little bits of grass or flaky bits from the edge of the hole so it looks nice and neat. Now it's looking pretty good. We trimmed a little bits of grass off and now it's time to give her a quick putt. Oh, and we missed. That's right, there we gave it another try, and look at that, sunk it beautifully. Now I'm just raking in more of the sand and getting rid of all that sand on the top so the ball's going to roll better. And now you're pretty much done. I'm just going to vacuum out the hole after this, get all the excess sand and random bits of grass out of there, and you're ready to go. Now we just got to test it makes the right sound. Sounded pretty bloody good to me. So this is the finished product, and obviously just going to do a bit of landscaping around the side. And I hope this helped you, and leave a like and subscribe and comment down below.